Is going on? Natalie Tedesco Body Shop. Let me get started because today's educational video is full of great facts and things you need to know. So I actually did a project on obesity in America for school, and I figured I'd share that with you today while we go over these effects and what obesity looks like in America. So, first of all, what is obesity and why does it even matter? So by definition, obesity is a condition of having excess fat or overweight. We are going to talk about this when we get into the medical field and the doctors because, granted, I'm morbidly obese when it comes to the BMI chart. So I'm sure a lot of you are saying the same thing. Don't freak out. It's okay. Doctors, I'm not going to say anything else. So, what does obesity really mean? So, obesity it's an epidemic in America, which means it is a big problem that we are having in America. But we have good reasons to have these problems, and I'll get into that as well. What we need to know is that this epidemic it's hindering our health, and our death rate is a lot sooner due to these problems. The average American no longer has time for themselves, and they settle to what is quick and cheap and convenient. All of these things have consequences that go with them. So why does this matter? It matters because technology is advancing, which means there's a lot more people who are sedentary, who are sitting down. There's a lot of lack of education in what to do, how to live a proper lifestyle, and very poor lifestyle choices. That allows us to put our health to the side. So the health effects of obesity are killing Americans younger than ever, and this is something we need to pay attention to, especially if you have children and a family that you care about. If you're thinking to yourself, like, why should I care? It's because at Tedesco Body Shop, we care about you, we love you, you're beautiful. These are things we'll tell you all the time is we love you, you're beautiful, and people care about you, and you have our support system. So always know that. But let's keep it moving. So how bad can this problem really, really be? So the problem is really, really, really bad. A lot of America. So let's talk about it. As you can see on the figure 1 in this camera, I'll turn this one around so you can see it. Can you see it? It's like a mirror. All right, so that's a map as of 2016, so granted it's probably updated, but we're looking at the different things we need to keep in mind when we look at obesity, which are environment, social habits, and cultural traditions, because a lot of things such as your lifestyle, your climate, and your activity rate, they vary based on where you live, and that's super important to remember, is somebody that lives in the very cold and somebody that lives in the very hot are going to have two completely different lifestyles, which it goes into our activity rate, which then goes into how many calories we burn, which goes into what we actually eat. So there's a lot of this stuff that adds up that many people don't think about when you just hear the word obesity. So let's continue. What causes obesity? Well, a lot of things. Lack of education is always number one. If you don't know any better, you won't do any better, and that's super important to know. Lifestyle behaviors, that leads us right in. So if you don't know, you won't do. And then lastly is convenience. So the lack of education. So people will not take action because they don't know any better. All right, so I personally believe that a lack of education is the number one reason and number one cause of obesity, due to the simple reality of society not placing an emphasis on proper health. So let's dig a little deeper. Obesity. If our burger, nuggets, fries, and a drink cost us $4 and our salad costs us $12, what would you choose? Right? If we're on a tight budget, we don't know any better, and we're just trying to pinch pennies and make it by, we're obviously going to go for the burger, nuggets, fries, and Coke because it's going to keep us full. Well, what we're doing is we're setting our health aside for money, really, when we know if we bought food in bulk, such as eggs, rice, vegetables, lean meats. You can buy these things frozen for a lot cheaper. Fruits, vegetables, frozen, that's totally fine. But what we can't do is put aside our health. So there's good, cheap choices, and there's bad, cheap choices. So if we're going for cheap, buy in bulk. It'll last you a lot longer, I promise. And then we're going to totally avoid this obesity epidemic, I hope. So another thing we want to do is, as adults, we have to take ownership and responsibility in what we eat and for our next generation. We are responsible for what goes into our mouth. We are also responsible for what goes into our children's mouth. Who brings the food into the house? Who brings the food into the house? That's always the question I ask. If your child is less than 16 years old, they're probably not buying their own food, which means you do it for them, which means take responsibility for your child. Make them get active. Do not allow them to be behind the computer screens. Yes, I know it's hard. There's new video games all the time, but the problem nowadays is the kids are not active and they don't know what healthy food is. They don't know. If the real problem behind all this is, how should I say this? It's like enforcing our children to eat a certain way, to live a certain way. It's putting discipline back into lives that has just been, well, screw it. Let's just play games and go to school and do this and do that. Where's the discipline? And that's a huge problem when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle. Discipline, lack of discipline. So the first thing that I talk about with all of our members and many people, and I'm glad I'm filming this on a Wednesday because every Wednesday at Tedesco Body Shop is What's Your Why Wednesday. So you're going to hear from children all the time is why. And this is a huge topic, is why. Why should we eat healthy? Why should we do this? Why should we do that? Well, if you want your child to live a long life and you want to be around for your child's entire life, that's a huge why. That is a huge why. Another thing is that parents are going to just put that question of why off to the side. Is if you say, because I said so, you're leaving education behind. You're leaving education that you could have taken that 2 minutes instead of getting frustrated and annoyed and making your kid go back to playing video games. You could have taken 2 minutes out of your day and educated your child on this is why we do it, because we want to be healthy, because this, because that, because this, because that. Okay? Take the time to tell them why you do things, especially children. So children will spend an average of 7.5 hours a day on electronics, which is a huge check mark for bad lifestyle behaviors. The problem is that it's hard to get good information because there's so much information on the internet, and Dr. Google is not always right. But there are good certified nutrition coaches out there who want to help you, aka me, or a lot of other people. If you don't know or you don't want to work with me, I can connect you with the people that will. I promise. Just ask us simply, how do I know if this is good or bad? Because moving forward, you'll be able to look at it and know if it's good or bad. Not saying you're going to always have to come to us as nutrition coaches, but you'll at least know. So learning is the first key. Next, let me go back. Lifestyle behaviors. So, many unhealthy lifestyle behaviors are formed because of lack of education. We just covered that. Lifestyle behaviors are developed over years of creating habits. So, habits. We can't expect people to change their behaviors all at once. Everything we do at Tedesco Body Shop is one step at a time, and it's because we're taking the step in the right direction. Our goal is 1% better every day. When adopting a healthy lifestyle, it starts with learning about your daily schedule. A person's daily schedule will tell us a lot about the choices that they make, aka what is the reason for their action. So every day becomes a puzzle, and you want to put the puzzle together. The puzzle should be, this is the time I'm waking up, these are the foods that I plan on eating, and finding where your health fits into the puzzle, which is time management. Our lifestyle behaviors need to be prioritized into our health. Next. Alright. Nowadays, it's super easy to make quick food and stop for quick food when driving to and from work, and instead of packing your own homemade food. The quick and cheap food is normally packed full of bad calories. The increase of caloric intake has also decreased the nutrients consumed. All this means is that we're eating a lot and eating a lot and eating a lot, and although they're high in calories, they're not nutrient dense, which means they're lacking things that we really need in our body that good meats, good veggies, good fruits are going to give you within your daily diet. All this means is the bad calories are not providing your body with the proper nutrients, the proper vitamins, and they're commonly referred to as empty calories. You guys will hear this a lot. So pack from home. I know it takes a little bit more time in the beginning, but it actually saves you time on the back end. Making time for exercise is the next thing. So making time for exercise is simple. It's a dedication and a decision to take care of yourself. It's not about making it to the gym for an hour every day or making it for 2 hours of exercise. It is about going on a 30-minute walk every single day, moving your body every single day, making yourself a priority. 80% of Americans don't get enough exercise, and kids spend more time behind a phone, computer, or TV screen than they do outside interacting with each other. That is a huge problem. But I know it's tough. Trying to balance work, school, family life, proper food, exercise, there's a lot on your plate. So this is what we need to do, is understand it's one step at a time. Take things at a slow pace. No sleep is important. No food is important. No exercise is important. How can you pick one thing out of your daily schedule right now and make it a little bit better? The truth is we all have 24 hours in the day. So what we do reflects our overall health. What we do within those 24 hours reflects our overall health. Let me repeat that. What we do, the actions we take, is what we see on the outside. It's reflected through our lifestyle behaviors. So, convenience. A little bit about convenience. Technology advancements, they're very impressive. A lot of things are super impressive, but what we do is we're replacing walking and having to get up out of a chair with grocery pickup, grocery delivery. You no longer have to drive your car to a grocery store, get out, walk around the store, and get back in your car, which has taken the maybe 10 minutes that people used to get out of their day. So we've just created a new problem. With new technology means new problems. So the convenient world we live in makes it a lot easier, but it has longer lasting effects, especially on our obesity rate. According to the Obesity Action Coalition, the world lives a more sedentary lifestyle. The world is going into an information age, which replaces our norm of walking places, playing outside, spending time cooking with our family. And although it doesn't seem like much, walking through the grocery store and to and from your car and cooking dinner, moving around your kitchen, moving around your house, that is energy expenditure. That burns calories. We just don't see it that way. And now in order to get our groceries, we get them from our phones. So 11% of the average American diet is fast food consumption. That should not be a surprise because everybody is on the go. Everybody's quick. Everybody's looking for the next fast something that they can get in, get out, and keep moving. So fast food industries are playing with these convenience. And in the grocery store, marketing is a real thing. Food marketing is a real thing. Food industries continually open, like fast food places open new fast food places in the route most people drive. If you drive a main strip, a main road, you're going to see a lot more fast food places than you would on a back road because it gets less business. So remember, the food industry is a business industry. If you walk into the grocery store and something says healthy, they're going to put sugar in it because if it says healthy, you're going to buy it and then you're going to eat it and then you're going to be addicted to it and you're going to eat it again. So just because it says healthy doesn't mean it's actually healthy. If it says healthy and it has an ingredient list of more than 7 or 8 things, it's not actually healthy. If it comes in a box or a can, it's usually preserved, which means there's things in there that make it last that long, that make it taste the same on day 1 and day 30, which nothing that is fresh and good should taste the same the day you make it than it does 30 days later. What we need to do is not distract our kids, not distract ourselves, to wake up and be aware. It is super important to be aware. If you're talking to your children about obesity, it is super important to let them know that the importance of eating healthy. And frankly, you must educate yourself. If you're uneducated, how are you going to teach others? That is one of my purpose and passion in this world, is to teach you to teach others. Because I know if I can teach you, you can teach others, and especially affect those in your the ones in your family who need it the most, the children. So, obesity is making a huge impact on the world today. It's getting worse, it's growing quickly, and it's at a huge scale. We're easily blindsided by media, hot deals, crazy work schedules, running errands, taking the kids places, and we have to remember that we couldn't do any of those things if we were sick. We couldn't do any of these things that you think you have to do if you were ill, if you were bedridden, if you were sick, if you were puking, if all these things. You can't do that if you were sick. It shouldn't be thinking that, oh, I'm too young. Like, you shouldn't be thinking, I'm too young to do something. It should be, well, I'm too old to not know any better. Or, well, I'm too young to get sick. Things like that. You need to reverse questions and say, I'm way too young not to take care of myself. Obesity is associated with increased risk of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, disorders, infertility, cancer, psychological, social problems, a lot of depression, anxiety, functional limitations, things like that. These are things you're at risk for if you don't take care of yourself. And all I want to do is educate. All I want to do is educate. Because if you know, then it is ignorance on your part if you do not take action. That's all. Okay, if I can teach you, there's no lack of education. There's just pure ignorance. So understand the difference between lack of education and ignorance. I will teach you, I will teach you, I will tell you, I will help you. But if you don't take action and you don't choose to make a difference in your life, trust me, ignorance is what you need to drop. It's called an ego. Drop your ego and start taking care of yourself and your family. Start setting an example. Children are like monkey see, monkey do. They want to do what you do. If you're contradicting what you're telling them to do and you're going out and eating donuts, we have a huge problem. Today's children will be the first generation with life expectancies shorter than their parents. Let me say that one more time. Today's children will be the first generation with life expectancies shorter than their parents. Take ownership in your habits. It is super important to pay attention to what you do and set an example for each other to stay active. I tell my members at my gym all the time, in the 4 walls, we teach you everything you need to be successful, but what you do with the information, the other 23 hours of the day, is completely up to you. Take the time and the effort to live a healthy lifestyle, develop these healthy habits, and stay educated, stay updated on what's happening in the health industry. It's one day at a time. Don't forget, it's a journey. Enjoy the journey, but take ownership in the journey. Remember that obesity is a growing epidemic. It is super important to start educating each other, making your family known that this is happening in the world, and taking every step you can against it. I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, you need any help, please, please, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help you. Like I said, I will answer every question, but it is on your part to take action. Have a great one. It was great talking to you.